Welcome in, everybody. Special edition podcast from the shop. Ben, Dave.
Oh, yeah.
How we doing, boys?
Pretty good.
Fantastic.
Sick.
Beautiful Monday.
It's a great Monday.
Beautiful out there.
Yeah.
Perfect temperatures for disc golf.
Yeah, weather doesn't suck anymore. Looks like we're actually going to have a spring. So.
Yeah, that'll be really nice. Today was my last day of skiing for the season, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
You're done?
Yeah, we had an employee ski day up at Alta, and I took like 4 runs. Last chair, I was like, hey, this is
Keep going.
my last chair of the season. I'm just calling it now, and I got on chair 69.
It has to be your
It
last.
has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to get on anything else now.
I know, it was great. It was so fun. So, throughout the podcast, Ben will be in and out. If people show up at the shop, you hear background noise, ignore them. Me and Dave are here.
Oh, yeah.
Well, since someone's here, give us some updates, man.
Yeah. So, shop's been open for 20 days. We are somehow 20 days into this, and things have been going great. It's looking sustainable is what I should say. So we still have room to grow for sure. Trying to kind of get the word out still. There's a lot of people who don't know we exist yet in the disc golf community here, but that's all right. Still, time to keep getting better. So things are going well though. We've got a billion discs here, kind of always making improvements to what we're doing and kind of figuring out new ways to sort things. And the used section's crazy.
Yeah.
It is
Crazy good.
absolutely massive, dude.
Yeah.
Everything over here.
Got a boogie.
Got a
I'll be
boogie.
back. Howdy.
Yeah.
Everything over here is used discs. He's even got them through Discraft, MVP, Dynamic Discs, Westside, Latitude, Innova. And then this rack right behind me is all miscellaneous discs from manufacturers that are used. So we have some Viking, and some
Legacy.
Viking Cast Class, Thought Space, Legacy, DGA, Yakun, Doomsday, Gateway, Mint, RPM, EV7, Penrosy stuff. Bunch of goodies.
Sweet. Yeah, it looks great. I spent way too much time in here in 20 days. I think I spent as much time in here besides the opening day, as I have at my house when I'm not sleeping.
Yeah. Been down here a lot just because you can come down, watch disc golf when it's on the weekends. You don't have to pay for it. They have the full DGPT,
Yep.
which is great.
Yep. 2 big screens to watch it on. Beautiful art. Kombucha, coffee. That's all you need. Huh? Dog, yeah. Juno's over there. You also have pretzels, right?
Yeah.
Let me see some of those. Oh, yeah.
What a throw.
So, these fire sticks things, have you tried these yet?
I have not. Oh, yeah?
We'll do it right
Fuck
now.
yeah.
Go for it. Open that up. So, these are the smoked queso. I have had these ones before. They're awesome. So, tell me what you think.
Those are good.
Yeah.
Those are like crack.
Oh, yeah, they're really good. And then there's like garlic ones as well. So, I got to put those over here. I'm going to be munching on those the whole time.
Oh, yeah, dude.
But we'll
Those
keep
are a
them.
great course snack. Like,
I know. I came in here, what was it? It was like Thursday or Friday. I played Creek by myself, came to the shop. Ben was here, and he wasn't working. And then me and Ben just went to the course. I'm like, I need some food. And boom, those things were there. I was just munching on them the whole time.
dude, the aftertaste is real nice on them, too. It gives it a little bit of heat in the back end,
Yeah.
which is real nice. Like, love that.
I don't know if I'd want to eat them for tournaments.
Probably not. It is a little, like, greasy on the hands
Yeah,
with
they get
flavoring
really-
coating.
When you get down to like here, you're like licking and like using your teeth to scrape off the
Oh, yeah.
excess. But they're so good. They're so good. Real quick, you can talk. For those of you who haven't seen the full shop,
Oh, yeah, we'll do a little full video of the shop for you guys here.
so use this. This back wall we're gonna ignore for now. Okay. We have more used discs. This section is lightweight discs on 3 sides, and then the left side, if you're a cart player, there's putter pouches and things like that. This middle section for the hoodies is
All new drops.
new drops. So they have, it's the Discraft Tour Series releases, the DGA releases. Ben right there.
Backside has the MVP drops.
And glow right now too. We moved all the glow stuff off the used rack to make room for more used. And if you look back here, you can see even more used discs. This is all used plastic. And then we just started a huge lost and found program too. So we returned 85 discs, I think it is at this point in time, in the last week. We're paying people to bring them back and giving them back for free. So it's kind of a cool system.
Yeah.
Heck
For the
yeah.
people.
Looks great. And then we got hoodies.
Heck yeah.
Those hoodies are so nice, by the way.
Dude, they're awesome.
Dude.
We also have the Buzz jerseys, right?
Yeah, we got Buzz jerseys, and then we got team jerseys. Well, we've got Another Round Salt Lake jerseys coming in probably in just a couple days. So coming in this week, which I'm jazzed about. And we'll have hats in soon. Yeah, so we're getting there.
Yeah.
Coming along.
Yeah. TV for watching pro stuff. We turned them off for the pod, so.
Yep.
You can see OTV
Coffee.
right there.
A bar coming. We're working on getting our our liquor license. We have a very real specific license we're going for, so it's taking some time to get it. But I figured I didn't want to rush through something like that in the state of Utah. So
I've been
I've got kombuchas on tap, and they're quite tasty from a local place called Hans. They're a great little company just here in Salt Lake City, so we've got their stuff on tap, and yeah,
Sweet. And then hoodies, jerseys over here, and then what's on that last island? Just belt buckles and stuff?
yeah, that's all Grip 6 stuff. So another local Salt Lake company, Utah company. They make sweet belts and like disc golf themed belt buckles, socks, wallets, all sorts of cool stuff. So trying to keep it as local as possible for everything. And yeah.
Sick, man. And then we'll pan back over. We have putters, slower speeds going all the way to mid ranges, fairway to control drivers, distance drivers. New squash bags are in. They look sick, dude.
They're good.
They look super sick. And then we got some old bags up here. I should have an old bag up there, but I keep forgetting bringing
The
it.
used bags, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, those are all used?
All used bags, yep.
Heck yeah, dude.
Yeah, so screaming deals on the whole goal of the used section is to try and bring down the cost of getting into disc golf for new people, and then also to find gems for people who know what they're looking for too. So like there's not a single disc on our used rack that's more than $15. Most discs are 10, a lot are 8, 6. So keeping it cheap.
Yeah.
That's nice, because I know when I first got into it, I just had one of those like satchel bags that my buddy gave me that held maybe like 6 or 7 discs in it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't really want to spend like $150 on a bag.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, there's a grip bag up there right now for $100, $200 bag.
Yeah.
So it's trying to keep it easy for folks to get into it. And I've got a bunch of little satchel bags coming. For like $25 bags for people in the next week or two. So
Sweet.
those are nice for the mountain.
Oh yeah.
Like when you don't need that many discs, you're playing up Solitude or Brighton or something
Yeah.
like that, and you don't want to carry. I know my bag weighs what, like 25, 30 pounds for some reason.
Yeah. For some reason.
You carry 30 discs.
26.
26. Yeah. And then plus 2 water bottles when you're up there.
Yeah.
Towels.
Yeah.
Rain
Yeah.
jacket just in case, because you never know.
Yeah, we're thinking too, and by we I mean I guess I am thinking of starting a used rental program.
Oh.
So this
that
is
would
the
be sweet.
new thing as of today. I think I'm gonna start a program where it's like you pay $15 a month or something like that to get access to it, and you can come in, buy a used disc, go out and try it, and return it for, for whatever, for exactly what you paid for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as it's not like totally beat to crap after you go out and throw it, and just kind of make that something people can access.
Way
just
to get people to try out discs.
Yeah, exactly.
Or,
You're like, I wonder how this flies, or like a lot of these use this. Some of them aren't marked in terms of what mold they are, and the plastics. You don't really know how it's going to fly until you throw it, and so kind of a good way to get people into it without having to like make a full commitment on buying a disc. So
Yeah.
It's hard to do that with new stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
Because if it's new and it's like a car. If you buy it, and go out and throw it, it's used. So
Yeah.
But if this stuff's already used and trying to
I mean, there's
make
some.
it easy to access.
There are a lot of like just looking at it, and I've dug through the old stuff before I got the new stuff in. But a lot of these discs are like they still look new.
Oh,
They don't
yeah,
even look
a
thrown.
ton of them are new. I'm
This,
sure.
Like this one, this West Side disc. I was looking at this. Josh, I'm gonna protect your number best I can, but like $10, and it has, I feel like one little blemish on it.
Yeah, that's it.
Might
So-
have landed in the grass at some point.
Yeah.
Like, it's awesome. This area, like I've dug through it so many times. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep digging through it
Yep, it's
until.
fun. Every day there's new stuff popping up on it. So
Mhm. Sweet. Yeah. Good stuff.
yeah,
Dude, yeah, this place looks great. Jerseys are coming in soon though.
this week they're in the United States, and they're in Charlotte. And so Charlotte's shipping them to me today. They shipped them, so I'll get an update on when they get here. But I imagine like Thursday, Friday would be my guess as to when they actually are in hand. So yeah, it's exciting.
Mm-hmm. Did we tell you our idea?
Mm-mm.
So we're gonna put numbers and nameplates on the back.
Heck yeah.
One's gonna say good bros, and one's gonna say bad throws.
Who's gonna be who?
We're fighting over the bad throws.
Nice.
I think I'm gonna take bad throws for now.
Should we just flip a coin right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a coin?
Yeah.
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 Are you
Yeah.
Okay. It's live, baby.
Like
Hell yeah.
live. Oh man.
We can flip a disc.
Let's
Ooh.
flip a disc.
Okay, pick
Oh,
a
yeah,
disc.
pick-
Which one?
Let's go MVP, fourth row, fifth disc.
1, 2, 3, 4, fifth disc.
Fifth
Yeah.
disc.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
Oh, please tell me that's an atom.
It is an atom. So, you pick the disc. So you pick heads or tails.
Oh, definitely heads.
Okay, heads, tails.
No!
It was heads.
It's heads.
I'm also getting that, by the
There
way.
you go.
I'm keeping that.
Good
'cause
bros.
I just,
Bad throws. There you go.
There we go. All right, bad
ju-
throws will be my name now.
I actually lost one of my putting putters at Thunderbird Gardens this week, which I putt with these soft atoms. So
Perfect.
I need one.
Perfect. That one's new too.
Yeah,
It just has a scrape on it.
yeah. No, you could feel it's
Well, that was
new.
mine.
Was it?
Oh, yeah, it was mine. So it has never been thrown.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, $6.
I'll break it in real quick.
Please do. Yeah.
Sweet. Ben, do you know how many discs you carry?
Right now, 7,000.
Okay. In your bag
Ah, yes.
that
Okay.
you throw.
In my bag right now,
I gotta pull up my notes because
I probably
can't
got-
remember.
I'm doing a little DD3 testing right now. So I've got every run of Cloudbreaker. I've got Cloudbreaker 1, 2, and 3. 2 S-Line MMA DD3s in there. Those are just kind of testers though. And then I've got a Halo Roadrunner, a signature Alex 2 signature Roman by Infinite, an FD, a swirly FD, S-Line FD, Ella Hansen stamped,
Mm-hmm.
a C-Line Glow FD. Trying to think of anything else in my drivers. Oh, tilt. I always have a tilt. It's useful once per round.
Yeah, it is.
Once per round. Tilt, I've got, or 10. So I've got 2 hexes. So an Eclipse hex and a Fission hex. I have my Bold Buzz, which is my go-to everything disc still. An Eclipse Envy. 2 soft envies as my putters. 17. A Tactic, a Razor Claw 2.
Mm-hmm.
18. And a pitch. Yeah, an Axiom pitch.
18, 19 discs.
Yeah, 18, 19 discs. Yeah.
I feel like that's pretty average.
Yeah.
You're on the up.
20, 25 to 26.
Yeah.
Which,
Mm.
I mean, my bag handles it. It's not like I'm also one of those people that I don't like having a lot of like movement in my bag.
Mhm.
So like that big slot in the bottom holds 20 discs. And if I take one out, all of a sudden everything starts moving and sloshing. I put my bag down on a hill, it tips over or something like that. All
Yeah.
my discs go rolling.
Yeah.
If I keep it nice and tight, everything just kind of stays in
Yeah.
there. So it's like, I kind of don't want to take certain things out, even though like you with the tilt once around, right? Like
Yep,
I have
once around.
discs that like I might not even throw at Creekside, but like the occasional time I'm playing somewhere, it's like, well, it's kind of nice to have,
Yeah.
and you know, I need something in there. Like,
Yeah. I'm essentially always trying to have one understable, one stable, and one overstable disc in every like kind of slot in the bag. So like have some overstable fairways, understable fairways, stable fairways. Same with distance drivers, mids, and then putters, approaches. So
Yeah.
how many putting putters do you carry?
just two.
Just two?
Yeah, two in the bag, kind of that basket. Yeah. All
Yeah.
soft envies.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm at 23,
Yeah.
and that's so 21 throwers, 2 putting putters.
Yeah.
What we're gonna talk about this week is, do you think there should be a limit in bags?
Oh yeah, no, I do. I do think there should be a limit. I think it's an interesting concept for tournament players. Like you've got carts. You know, people like Ricky used to carry that, or used to pull that huge cart. I don't know if he still does.
I don't think it's as big as
He had
it
that,
used to.
that big ridge roller cart that he
Mhm.
had that carried like 40, 50 discs.
Mhm.
And it seems like there should be a limit, just because like as disc golf technology improves, you know, I think there's probably going to be a time when we start seeing like battery powered carts, and like they have in golf.
Yeah.
And you know, if you can start carrying 100 discs, it seems like there's a bit of an advantage at some point in time to carrying more discs than other folks can carry. You
Yeah.
know? And like especially for, you know, if the pros can afford these really nice bags or like really nice carts, and like AMs who are still good but aren't like highly sponsored can't have that sort of stuff or just can't afford it. It seems like an advantage. So I think there should be some sort of limit. I feel like, you know, for a tournament pro, like 35 feels like plenty of discs.
Yeah.
You know, so
When you always see like Big Germ carrying around that like stroller bag,
yeah,
which is absolutely massive on a lot of courses.
yeah. So that's my hot take. All right, I'll be back.
Yeah, you're good.
Hey,
I'm kind of with Ben on that. I think right now there's not a ton of bags that can carry more, but when you get to the carts,
yeah.
you know, you do end up carrying more than, 25, 30 discs.
Yeah.
And I think throwing wise, anything over 30 discs throwing, that's the limit.
Too many. Yeah.
Too many.
Well, and at that point, like, how many discs are you carrying that are just like extras in your bag for
Yeah.
no reason? Like, I don't know. I like seeing people like forced to shape shots with discs too.
Yeah.
Like, I know I was watching, I think it was Tour Life this week where they were talking about like, oh, are courses like forcing people to get injured? And it's like, no, you got to learn how to throw different kinds of shots with your discs.
Yeah.
Like, I think people, especially as like the casual spectator, I enjoy seeing that so much more. Like when somebody has to throw like a soft turnover and they're like, I don't have a disc like that does this, and it's like, well, figure it out. Like, you're the pro, you should be able to do this.
Totally. Yeah,
Like-
I struggle with, like, I had a conversation with another person in Salt Lake. I'm not gonna name you. You know who you are. Love you. And he's like, no, there should be no limit. But I feel like they're at a point there has to be a limit at some point of
Yeah.
like, dude, you have 50 discs. You're only using, let's say 20 around. Like, where are those other 30 discs going?
I
you
wonder.
know?
I wonder if like we took caddies out of it, right? Like, let's say you're out on a big course, you're playing Maple Hill. It's got a lot of walk-in, a lot of vert up and down, and you have to carry your bag with 30, 40 discs in it. You're going to be exhausted by the end of your round if you don't have a caddy carrying that bag for you. Like, and it's like if you take that out of it, all of a sudden it's like, oh, maybe you're no longer in the I need 40 discs in my bag kind of game.
I would totally agree.
I mean, we played Solitude and Brighton. Those mountain courses,
Without a caddy are brutal.
those eat you alive. That's a 4 to 6 hour rounds.
If you're hiking from the bottom of Brighton, going up, playing all the way around and down, I think it is about 4.5, 5 hours.
Yeah.
With that's with no lost disc. You're
Mm-hmm.
throwing 1, maybe 2 tee shots every hole. Like, it's a long round.
Well, Solitude Open was like 6.5 hour rounds. Like, it's just such a long day out in the mountains and to not have a caddy and having a heavier, like, I already have a heavy pack that I carry with me.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't imagine putting any more discs in that thing.
Yeah. No, it's definitely interesting. if you could put a number on it, excluding two putting putters, because I feel like most people are two putting putters. You know, you have two, I have two. Ben has two in his bag, but a trillion right there. Throwing discs, how many?
Well, if you go through like the different like sections, right? You have like your throwing putters, your mids, fairways, controlled fairways, and drivers. There's 5 different sections. If you had a flippy, a stable, and an overstable disc for each of those, that's 15. Maybe add in like another 5 discs, so like 20. And I think that's all you would really need. Like, and playing courses that have water and hazard like that, it's like, cool, well, maybe I don't throw the risky shot. Don't throw the Ezra step out forehand that he tried to go for last week, because all of a sudden you lose your stable driver. And now you don't have it for the rest of the round. Like, you have to figure it out. It kind of plays a little bit more into that golf game.
Okay. 20.
Yeah.
I think I would say like 24, 25.
Yeah.
I think, like, my bag, I used to carry 30 discs, right? And I wasn't playing with half of them. And even now, like, I would say there's 2, maybe 3 discs in my bag that I haven't thrown in months, because they are that utility disc, like a forehand, like my zone. I don't throw my zone backhand. It just doesn't happen. Like last time we threw my zone backhand, I think the only time was the practice run we did 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it's just to try something out. That is my forehand putter disc. I don't throw forehands. When does that come into play? If I took that out of my bag, I would be totally fine with having 24 discs in my bag.
Right.
So,
well, that's like going through mine. I bag both a Firebird and a Felon, right? The Felon's more of my forehand. Firebird's my overstable backhand. Let's say I only could throw one of those, and now it starts to make a decision of like, okay, do I trust this the same way I do my Felon, or the same way I throw this backhand with a Firebird? And it forces me to like play the game a little bit different if I had to take one of those slots out.
Totally.
Like,
totally. Okay, next question. I agree with you on that. I'm okay with, if I had to shrink my bag down because of PDJ rules, I would be okay with that, as long as it's not like 15. I feel like you have to have 20 discs at our level and a pro level, because some people will throw only forehands with that disc, or only backhands with that disc, right? So you have to have a little leeway there.
A couple of utility discs, like I bag a glitch, or like that Rive that I have that's way too stable for me as my like utility forehand kind of thing. Like, you get a couple of utility slots, but you don't need that many.
No. The other thing, my question is, excluding putting putters, because I would fall into this category. Of my opinion, how many should pros, and should we be limited to a certain number of molds in our bag? So let's say I bag 3 wraiths. One's really beat in, so pretty flippy. One's pretty neutral, and one is overstable as hell. Should there be a limit on how many molds you can have in a bag, or in one slot? Should I be able to have 3 wraiths in my bag?
I think that's totally fine if that fits your like slots that you're going for, right? Like, if you're saying that like, oh, I need to throw 3 different molds to hit like the understable, stable, overstable molds. Like, I don't think you necessarily need to have that. If you want to have your entire bag be, you know, I throw a wraith for, I have 6 different kinds of wraiths in my bag. Some that glide more, and some that are like pop top beat in, or like dead flat ones that won't go as far. It's like, go for it. But the second you have like 17 wraiths in your bag, and then also having a whole other bag on top of that, it's like, okay, this is excessive. Like, you don't need that. And then you get somebody like fiddling around being like, I mean, even I do it now with some of my discs, where it's like, oh, this isn't the one I need, it's this one. Or like, oh, this is my somewhat flippy, this is my more flippy, this is my state, like, and then you're like putzing around, and it's like, cool, it's slowing down the game.
Totally. My opinion would be 3 molds. I could,
3 discs per mold.
3 discs per mold. I just think, Like, there are some people, like, I don't think necessarily with drivers or fairways or control drivers, but with putters, not putting putters, but other putters,
Mm-hmm.
there are people who will bag 4 or 5 different envies just for throwing or whatever their throwing putter of choice is, and it gets excessive, like you're saying. Like, okay, you have 5 envies that you're throwing and you don't know which one to throw because it's a slight headwind and it's not like you know
Yeah, you're sitting there messing with your bag for 10 minutes. It's like, well, I haven't addressed my lie yet. And it's like, yeah, because you're putzing around with your like 17 discs that all do the same thing, but you don't know which one to throw.
yeah. So I would say three molds,
3 discs per mold.
3 discs per mold. Thank you. So yeah, that's my take. But not everyone's gonna agree with me, and that is fine. It's not trying to be a hot take. It's just my take.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to stand up for a little bit. I am.
That's the great thing about the new setup that we got
I
going
know.
right now, dude. We could sit, we could stand,
We can
move
sit.
around.
We can do all sorts of stuff. All right.
This wide angle.
Let's move on to Music City Open presented by Lone Star. Ben, did you watch coverage?
Of course.
What did you think?
I was live in the shop.
What did you think of FPO?
FBO. Okay, let me sit down.
Yeah. Join us.
1 sec. What's our time? Okay, we got 9 minutes till the shop closes, so we'll be able to keep me in here. So, FPO first, like like full on hot takes. Just what are we talking?
Anything. Just,
Uh,
we're just going
How'd you
FPO.
feel about watching FBO coverage?
Well, I'm a huge Kristen Tatar fan, so
as my
I'm happy. I'm happy she won. It was good to see that she had some competition after 2 rounds with Holland, kind of keeping her focused and pushing. But I think it's pretty clear that like it's the same as last year. She is hands down the best player in the FPO field. Hands down, like one of the best players on earth right now. In any division. In terms of dominance, she's like.
She is the Patriots.
Yeah, she is. I mean, it's like there's no more dominant player in disc golf right now over the last 3 years than Kristen Tatar.
Yeah.
Like at all. The MPO fields had like a lot of shifts and a lot of players who are, good and then fall off or like are just coming up even though they've been around for a while, like AB in terms of like getting wins. But Kristen's just been like stable, consistent. Like you just, if you have to bet the house on someone, it's like she's a pretty easy bet.
Yeah.
Every week. And so it's been fun to watch her. I would love to see, more folks kind of come up to her level. And I think that like in sports, it's like, when she hits the 1,000 rated mark, which I think she's going
she
to.
has to after this one. Yeah.
As long as she doesn't fall apart at Champions Cup.
Yeah.
She's
1 point off.
She's 1 point off. I mean, she was at the last ratings update too, though, and she
Yeah.
shot really hot the tournaments before. So I'm curious as to how it's going to pan out and like when she's going to hit it. But it seems, if she holds steady for this, like her what did she shoot for the event? Like
10-17.
Yeah, 10-17 rated for the event.
Yeah.
And she's been doing that for a minute, So I think that once she hits that 1,000 rated mark, showing that like it's possible for someone in the FPO division to do that, I think we're going to see other people catch up. It's like when someone broke the 4-minute mile record, and then all of a sudden like everyone was breaking 4-minute mile record, some stuff like that. So, but it's cool to watch, and we're seeing a lot of the standard figures kind of in the top 10 from FPO, and
Well, you're also starting to see a few breakouts this year, right? Like the few tournaments that Kristen lost, where Owen Scoggins playing absolutely out of her mind, shooting so high above her rating. Same thing with what was it, Annika?
Yeah.
That won.
Annika Sten.
Yeah. Who shot her first 1,000 rated round and then proceeded to do so the next 2 rounds as well. And it's just like, if you want to, she has such a consistent game that like if you want to beat her, you really do have to play like above and beyond that level.
Oh, totally.
To even just be in contention.
And that's, I think, what separates her from the rest of the FPO division right now is that, like, when you look at her scorecards compared to everyone else's, she does a really good job of mitigating huge numbers, She took 4 bogeys in the last round, but she didn't take any doubles. And she's just super consistent. There's never really a shot where you're like, wow, that's a horrible shot by Kristen. It's like maybe she clipped a tree on a line that was already tough and kicked somewhere, but she's never like out of it.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Well,
she smoked everyone.
Look, third place was even, and Kristen shot
Neg 13.
neg 13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
And
it's not even close at that point.
there are a lot of people like lower down here, even Holland, double bogeyed 16 that final round, who have big numbers like you're saying, Ben. There's a double there, saw a triple, like
Yeah,
a quad.
you look at players like Evelina, right? Like she's got what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 birdies on the day. Like
Yep.
she keeps her scorecard clean.
Yeah.
And she
In contention just in one round.
Totally. She'd be in solo third.
Yeah.
At neg 4 in one round. And she's got like the potential to be so good because she's got such incredible control off the tee. But, she just doesn't have like the full game yet. And Kristen just, plugs along. She doesn't have like crazy distance, but she's just so consistent. It's like, it feels like watching Paul, 4 years ago when 5 years, like his 2019 season, where you're just like unstoppable and like everyone else is just playing catch up. So
Yeah, it's pretty insane. There's only 2 people under par in FPO at the end of the event.
Yeah.
So, and even Holland shot 1 over on the final day, which is pretty crazy. So I think if Holland shoots better in that final round, she could put up a fight for Kristen. But
oh yeah,
I think she was like tied at one point.
They were tied going into the last round. So yeah, and Kristen just
Holland had the lead after Kristen had 2 bogeys to start the round. So she was in contention, and then the couple of OB strokes I saw that she had, I think, just kind of threw her off her game.
Yep. Yeah, bogey, double bogey.
Yep.
So, damn. All right, MPO. Simon, he's back.
Yeah, and so is Paul. And
so is Paul. And
Rick.
Rick.
And we'll see, right? Like that's the whole thing about disc golf right now. It's like we'll see. Last year, you just got to talk about consistency over time. Last year was Vinny's year.
Yep.
He was just playing lights out, all season long. This year feels like AB's year. He's, even though he didn't win this event, he's won 3 out of the first 6 Pro Tour events.
He still finished top 10.
Still finished top 10, and that's, the hallmark of being back.
Yeah.
Same thing with Simon. Like Simon had a really, really good event, but he's familiar with this tournament. He won it last year. This is the second year in a row winning it. You got guys like Chris Dickerson who have always played well at this event, and so he's in your top 5, but like he's also been kind of out of it this season. So it's, we'll see what happens over the next 4, 5, 6 events. Like we're in high point of the season right now. This is like my favorite part of the year for disc golf, is seeing where things are going to go.
It kind of felt like old like trick shot Simon, where he just could not miss a putt. Where like every time he would throw it, like I saw first round, I don't think he missed a putt within C1 or C2, and then he made like 2 70-footers as well that weren't on there as like inside the range of putting. It was just absolutely wild to see his like putting stats come out and just sinking them from everywhere. And I think that's what it takes this year, right, to win on the tour. Like you can't just be throwing well. Like you have to put yourself in those spots where, okay, I'm in 45 to 60 feet. I need to be making this putt the majority of the time this year to keep up.
Yeah. It was very fun to watch. It was actually disc golf. I don't know if you watched the podcast a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking about, it was one of the golf courses, Texas States maybe? No, a week before that. I was like, that's boring disc golf. It's just hyzer shots. We want to see like the best of the best throw these crazy lines, and that course really lives up to that. Like I saw a lot of shots that I don't see on a daily basis on the Pro Tour, let alone here in Salt Lake.
Yeah, there's definitely a trend in disc golf. Like when we look at, like the Dynamic Disc Open, they've got that golf course essentially that they play.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I think in response to the fact that people are throwing so much further now that they're trying to just increase distance. Like even this course was, even though it was kind of techie, it's still super long. You know, like we go out and play Creekside, and playing 18 holes at Creekside will still like kick your butt, but it's like 5,000 feet of golf, and this is twice that far, over twice that far. I think Mill Ridge is playing like 11,000. Does it say on here?
Yeah,
right here. go down right there. Yeah, 11,000 feet. And so I'm a huge proponent for just, I love watching woods golf because that's where disc golf came from, is, parks and park style golf. And so I liked the course setup for this event because it both challenged the pros with distance, but also like you had to hit your lines, and it's not just like big bomber shot after bomber shot after bomber shot, which can get boring.
Yeah.
And also definitely favors the guys who just have huge arms,
Yeah.
like, and we're seeing that, I think, with the way these courses are being designed to become longer to challenge these guys. Yeah, it's good, but also like that could be part of the reason AB is going off, because the dude can throw 850 feet, and other people just can't do that. And so I would like to see a trend to like kind of pull back on distances and like challenge these guys to go out and shoot 16 down on hard techie courses with a lot of OB and danger. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, I really liked like something like hole 1, right, where not a huge amount of distance on it, but you saw anybody from overstable putters to drivers on that hole. Like, it wasn't just like, oh, let me break out my, it's 300 feet, everybody's throwing a putter, or like maybe a mid-range on it. It's like, I think Ricky threw like a felon on that hole at one point, just because he knew he could like put it on the ante and have it like come out and stable out at the end. So it's fun to see them have to like pick and choose their kind of shots throughout the tournament too.
Yeah, and get creative with it. I mean, that's the beauty of disc golf too, right? Like if you have, like you can have a 300-foot hole and you can throw the 13 speed that's overstable that is just going to dig if you love it, or you can throw, a Luna.
Yeah.
And still get there. So
yeah, definitely interesting. Simon crushed the field, ended up winning by 5 strokes. It was good to see Paul back. It was kind of the return of the old guys this weekend. I wouldn't say old, but like the older, seasoned veterans of disc golf.
What was Simon, Paul,
Ricky,
Chris, and Big Germ were like top 5.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That's like watching, 2017 disc golf all over again.
Yeah, it's rad.
It's
rad. And I want to see, like, I don't know, it feels like when you're watching someone like Paul, like, you don't want to watch him fall off. It's like watching Tiger Woods fall off in golf. And for Tiger, it was like really sharp and all of a sudden. And Paul, I think, still has a lot of game left in him. And, he's had a crazy year. He's got a kid. And that does a lot to you.
Yeah. It
takes a lot of time away. And, like, like disc golf at that level, I can't even imagine. Like, for me, as, I play MPO, but, like, I'm still an amateur golfer.
Yeah.
And, like, even to shoot what I want to shoot out on the course at a tournament, like, I've realized last year I had so much time to, like, practice and just get really good, and I felt pretty dialed. And this year, even though you would think, I would get better over time, like, I've definitely felt that fall off just from spending so much time in the shop and kind of focusing on different things this year.
Yeah.
That when I go play tournaments, it's just hard for me to, like, stay focused. And so I can see that for Paul, like, maybe he's just getting back into it, and I would love to see him keep crushing it. He's still got to be in the conversation for every single tournament he plays in.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, he threw a lot of forehand shots this week, and I think that's what really helped, because he's still coming back from that injury and not like fully ripping on his backhand, it seems like. So being able to go to that forehand, I think really like helped boost his confidence and be like, okay, I could still play really good tech golf out here.
Is it baby luck?
Who knows? Little Pablo?
Yeah. Little Pablo's on the way.
Pablo's on the come up, man. So it's, he's got other things to play for too, I don't think Paul McBeth is ever going to have to be nervous about money anymore, but now it's still like kind of a Stoke thing. He's got a kid who he probably wants to, get to see and remember him winning a world title. Like, how cool would that be as a kid to see your dad do that and remember it?
Yeah.
So I think he's probably got 5-10 years left in him, hopefully.
Yeah, it was super fun. Chris played well.
Chris has a major injury.
Yeah. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, with his hip.
Yeah. Like bone spurs and like all that stuff.
Yeah.
I can't imagine, because I have bone spurs on my feet from ski boots, and they hurt. But like in my hips, like rubbing on muscles, fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah, I think that's like got to affect your mental game more than anything, too. Like, obviously it hurts, but like mentally knowing that you like can't put full power in, or just like your mind thinking that you could get hurt anytime you throw, like that's got to be frustrating.
Totally. Chris played well. Big Germ. That's kind of huge. Top five.
His putt on the 18th hole last round was so. Did you see that putt?
I didn't see it. I had to stop watching coverage at like 17 this morning because I had to go.
It was so amazing to see. He was like checking scores to see where it would put him, like if he ran it or if he should lay up. Realized that he had like a stroke behind with Nicholas there, or not Nicholas.
Yeah,
Was
Nicholas.
it?
Yeah.
Well, no, AB. So like if he ran it and missed, AB wasn't taking his like sixth place essentially, and he just threw like an air bounce putt through the trees and just dead center chained it from like 65, 70 feet, and just like you would have thought he won the tournament making that putt. Like he came running in hot and just like so stoked on it. But
he's such a big figure too. You gotta know, like, people were probably losing their minds just seeing him play well.
Yeah.
He's so easy to root for. Like, world's happiest dude.
Yeah.
So
That's so
good
sick.
to see him up there.
Yeah. Anything else here?
nothing else major. I mean, you still got Nicholas, AB, Gannon, all near the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
The young guns are still there.
Yeah. I mean, Gannon was tied for 7th. Cole was tied for 13th. Ezra tied for 17th. KJ 20th. Like, they're still up there. Just not quite winning.
Who's the prediction for the major next week?
Champions Cup?
Simon's not playing.
He's not gonna be Simon.
He's pulled out because his wife's
Pretty much in labor.
He basically was like, hey, we're if nothing else, we're inducing at some point next week, so
he's got to be out.
Yeah, he's not going to be there.
I mean, I think that if you have to bet on anyone right now in MPO, it's still AB this year. I mean, the fact that he finished top 10 at this event. I mean, he's just always in the conversation, and it seems like his mental game has really taken a huge step forward.
Mm-hmm.
He's like running and then hitting putts that he traditionally wouldn't. He's always had the power to go, to get through any course, but he's just like smoking his lines, and he's won playing woods golf now. He's won playing long distance golf. Like he can win anywhere.
Yeah.
And so I think he's the guy to beat. I think he's the number one player in the world right now. And I just don't think you can super argue against that. He's just so consistent right now and is playing well. So I mean that'd be who I would take. It's kind of the obvious choice, I think. But.
Yeah.
I think for me this week with Paul being, kind of back right before a major, especially on a more technical course like Northwood Black. I think it's just like that, like kind of momentum that he needs to be like, okay, I can still do this. I'm still there. I know this course real well. We're playing it 4 days.
And with Paul too, he always shows up for like these big events. He has a total mindset shift at majors. And
the World's Paul is a thing for a reason.
Yeah, totally.
He always comes back for Worlds no matter what kind of season he's having.
Right.
He's always in the lead card last day.
Right.
Yeah. I think if Calvin is feeling okay with his forehand, I think Calvin has a good shot too. Just his control with his eagles and his destroyers through those woods can be insane. It's remarkable to watch.
Yeah, he's been an interesting cat to follow this season too, because I was at the beginning of this season, I was thinking, okay, is Calvin just gonna like go nuclear this year, or what? Like how's this season's narrative gonna play out? And he's definitely taken a step back, but he's still an incredible disc golfer, and he's also been dealing with injuries.
Yeah,
his forearm or forehand.
Yeah, and I think just like the mental part of like dealing with something that's bugging you is huge.
Yeah.
And just gets in the back of your mind on any shot really.
Yeah.
So.
Also got to consider Eagles back next week.
I think he plays well. I don't see Eagle. I could see him maybe breaking into the top 10, but it's his first tournament back after a long injury, surgery, rehab, and he was supposed to play this past weekend, pulled out because of a back issue that
is a new one.
Yeah, a new one, not a reoccurring one. So I think if his back is feeling better and his shoulder and elbow are feeling good, I can see Eagle breaking in the top 10. I don't see a top 5 though.
No.
I think it's too early. Give him 2 or 3 events, and I think we see Eagle pushing for a trophy.
I think it'll be exciting to see him on the new bag.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, people are
Like-
gonna be jonesing to see what he throws.
Yeah.
Dude, some of those things, he's like, oh yeah, that was emotion. I just throw emotion in my bag as my like overstable forehand that I know won't go more than 250 feet for me.
Right.
And he's crushing it on a backhand line, like turning
Flipping it.
Yeah, like
Yeah. Throwing matrices.
insane. Like, I'm like, dude, all these discs that are like sitting on my shelf because I'm like, maybe one day I could throw these. He's just like, oh yeah, this is my like straight to like little bit of stable, and I'm like, I can't even throw that disc.
Yeah. It's next level.
Yeah.
It's next level. And I think that it'll be cool to see him throw an MVP too, because they're distance drivers have I don't know a ton about their distance drivers just because traditionally their bread and butters, their mid ranges, their putters are just like so good.
Yeah.
Up to their crave, which is amazing, but I don't know a ton about their like 13, 14 speeds, and seeing him smack on some of those will, I think, teach you a lot, because James throws the Zenith, he throws that on a lot of shots, and so like just seeing new molds get entered into the game from the pro level perspective will be cool.
Yeah.
Someone with his power will be kind of wild to see.
I don't think anybody was throwing like the dimension before Simon went to MVP.
Right.
Like,
A few like local pros maybe.
The
but, like,
relativity.
yeah.
All those crazy high speed things. Yeah.
Octane.
Yeah.
Well, Octane's 13,
Still
but
though.
still, yeah. Like, it'll be wild to see what he's throwing and how it like relates to what a lot of people think those discs are supposed to do.
Yeah.
Because it's like, cool, dude can crush a 700-foot drive. Let's see what that looks like now.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. I'm excited to watch this weekend. I actually get to watch this weekend. I'm not like
You're not working.
I'm
the whole
not
weekend.
working and partying. Like yesterday was its own fun chaos. Frank,
Yeah.
that was insane. It was
Upset I wasn't able to make it.
Yeah.
But I spent a week in the desert, and it was much warmer than I thought. By the time I got back home, woke up in the morning, was a little dehydrated, and
Yeah, done. No, I can't do
Not-
anything after a weekend in the desert.
yeah.
No way.
Yeah, Frank was wild though. We got up there I told Dave, meet at my house 7:45. He's like never late. He's like on time, 10 minutes early. If he's more than like 2 minutes late, he'll text me.
Yeah.
7:45 rolls around. I'm like, okay, Courtney, so your Dave's not here yet. A few minutes go by and I text him, you alive? Call him 3 times, straight to voicemail. Apparently he had texted me. I never got his text saying he's not coming. So he just sent it up there, got his text like an hour and a half later. I'm like, oh,
Poor guy.
poor guy. But
Down for the count.
down for the count. Yeah.
Made a recovery. We're good.
Yeah. Back in action. It's disc golf season.
Yeah.
It's just golf
It's
season.
golf season.
Ski season is officially over as of today for me.
As of
I might
today.
go touring once or twice, but
I still got days up at like Brighton and Solitude are open still. We're not going to be discing up there for another month and a half, 2 months.
Yeah.
I would say probably early June.
yeah, the fort's also flooding. So
Yeah.
did you hear about
Creekside, baby.
Creekside might be flooding soon.
We'll see. I think it's going to be better than last year. We've had like these warm ups and downs, which I think
Yeah.
will help with the flow for Big Cottonwood Creek at least. And so I'm thinking we'll be all right in terms of flooding at Creeky. But yeah, the fort flooding. Sounds like it's going to be all right for the tournament they've got coming
Yeah.
up this weekend. But
Because when we were up there, 4 and 5 were not completely underwater. Like you could play it,
mhm.
but
Wet.
very
Oh,
wet
The whole fairway was like
puddles.
puddles
Yeah.
down the entire fairway.
And it wasn't like a foot or 2 puddles. It's like 20 foot by 20 foot, like 4 or 5 inches deep puddles.
Right.
And then I think it was 5. The basket was a foot, maybe 2 feet away from the water.
Yeah.
So, and it was rushing. It
For
wasn't
4,
like-
the basket was in the water at 4. Like it had crept up to like the base of the
Mhm.
basket on like hole 4.
Yeah. Don't miss your putts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't go long.
Yeah.
Don't go short.
Yeah.
It's got to go in or nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ultimate death putt. essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
OB everywhere
Oh, it's-
except for like outside the bullseye.
It's surrounded by water. It's-
Don't miss.
do you think we could ever see a basket like that
Yes.
in a tournament setting?
I mean, there's
Where-
a couple that are sort of like that. I think there's some PDGA regulations about how close baskets can be to water,
Can I get some of that?
and I'm not sure exactly what it is off the top of the head, but I think there is some like regulation about can you
Keyword.
have a basket right next to water, right next to OB, and how close does it have to be like legal for a tournament? It'd be cool.
I think that would be super cool. Like 20 feet around the basket is all just like a pond.
Yeah, like with a little bridge going to it or something.
Yep.
Yep. There's like 2 or 3 golf holes like that
Yeah.
on like the PGA tour.
Island holes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Like-
true island.
Yeah,
Like
not just like OB stricken, but like an actual island.
Yeah. Like a 30
What's the course where they put the board behind the island and it's a true island?
oh, I know what you're talking about.
You know what course I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. That's where Worlds was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
When Paul won in that playoff against Gossage on that hole.
Dude, that broke my heart.
And I can't remember the name of the course, but yes,
Yeah.
yeah, I know that shot. I mean, there's a few like that. Like honestly, the Fort hole 16 when they had it set up for Worlds was really similar to that. You know, it's like that's a hole that you need to run, and if you miss it long, it was kind of a faux island. But yeah, it'd be cool to see like an actual island that you have to take a bridge to get on in disc golf. That's next level money for disc golf right now. But
Yeah.
I think we can get there. I mean, you know,
Soon.
we're when we get more courses in, like as courses keep popping up, and I feel like probably going to be a trend towards pay to play disc golf courses, which I'm not against.
I love the idea of it as long as it's a actual dedicated disc golf course.
Right.
Because we've been talking about it now here. Like, you want to get out and play around somewhere, and everything's at like a public park where, you know, people are walking around like trying to play around at T-ville.
Right.
And everybody's out like, oh, I'm out for a run, or like kids are playing soccer practice near like hole 7, and you're like, I don't really want to throw into them.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, we need more of that, and or at least like dedicated, you know, even if it is a public park, like a public park that is a dedicated disc golf course that has like a ton of signage up, and like does have, you know, trails for folks to still walk, but like around the outside or like minimally through throwing lanes.
Yeah.
But it's a tough balance because, you know, like the beauty of disc golf is that in general, like you can come to a shop, get 2 discs, you know, like for Creekside, you could hypothetically like just get a mid-range and a putter for like $15 and then go out and like, as long as you don't lose your discs, like go play a limitless amount of rounds at these like free, awesome courses that are all over the place, that are publicly accessible and publicly funded. And like, it's such a cheap, fun entry sport. So it's like, there's a balance.
It's a lot different than golf.
Totally.
yeah.
Like my roommates, they love golf. Like all 3 of them, obsessed with golf. And like I tell them like how much I spend on disc golf, and like I spent a good amount of money at this point.
Maybe like $100 a month though on like new discs or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
on average.
But entry wise, I got 3 discs handed to me by a friend, and I played with those for probably 3 months before I bought my first disc. And have you ever seen the kids at Creekside? They'll go in the river and find old discs.
Oh yeah, the kids on hole 9.
Yeah,
hole
yeah.
10.
And then they'll put up a table and a chair, and they'll sell you a disc for $5.
Yep.
They'll sell it back to you for $5.
Yeah, we'll sell it back to you for $5. That's exactly
Yeah.
it.
So I didn't know that at the time when I bought the disc, like they were doing that. I thought it was just like, oh, shitty old plastic.
Yeah.
So I bought my first Wraith from them, and so I'm like, okay, so $5, 4 discs. I've played like 20 rounds, and then I started getting into it more. And at this point, you know, probably spent, I don't know, between bags, discs, and like other accessories, probably close to $1,000 out over 3 years. But entry wise, it was so cheap. Whereas golf, you have to spend balls,
And that's
bags.
still cheap. Like that's like you're like talking $30 a month for 3 years of a sport that like brings a lot of joy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like versus going to play a single round of golf. $30 is like that's like
That's
just-
nothing.
that's like a
green
cheap
fees.
course. That's
Yeah.
just green fees.
That's like Rose Park.
Right.
I think
Yeah.
Rose Park's like 28 for like their shit times.
Right.
Like
And
right before sunset.
and that's $30 a month
That's not a
for
great
limitless
course.
play.
Yeah.
You know, is a good way to look at it. Like, so if you're playing a round a day, it's $1 a round.
Mm-hmm.
You know, is a good way to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and a lot of times too, like I know after I got into it, I started playing a lot of tournaments where it's like, cool, here's a couple discs, here's bag, here's, you know, a lot of stuff, and eventually accumulating all that. And then you have friends that want to get into it. I've given out like bags with 15, 20 discs in it to friends and been like, here you go, let's go play around. Like if you enjoy it, you can hold on to it and keep it. Like just stuff I don't really throw or whatnot. So it's more people to play with, and like it gets them involved, and then all of a sudden it's like, cool, it was free for me to start, and then I was able to kind of just like build my bag as I got into the sport more and more.
For sure.
Yeah, you're spreading the love, and you see that with disc golfers a lot. Like,
Yeah.
how many times have you been out and like you see someone new who's like you can tell they're stoked. Like I'm like digging through my bag for something to give them. You know? I'm like, please, like get into this game, because the more people who are into it, the better it is for the whole sport too. You know, like the more, like it does suck sometimes when you're out at Creekside on a weekend and you're like, I wish less people played this. Because there's 4,000 people here right now.
But I mean,
that
we
just
don't
goes
have-
to the courses in Utah. Like we don't have enough of those level of courses.
Yeah.
Although New Draper course coming in.
New Draper course coming in.
Have you walked it yet?
Oh, I've played it.
Okay, before the baskets.
Yes, before the baskets.
Okay.
Yeah, before the baskets. And there's some secrets that I won't tell you right now. But
We'll turn the camera off and you can tell us.
yeah, well after. Yeah.
Yeah.
In post. But it's gonna be sweet. There's a really dedicated group of workers from Draper who've done just like really wonderful work out of that course, and there's a really dedicated group of disc golfers who have done all of the hard work of getting it to where it is right now. Like Scott of Elevate, who you guys talked to.
Yep.
Nick Lopez has done a ton of work designing it and just working out there. He's a local. Sean Kelly has done a ton of just like putting labor in, you know, for free, just volunteer hours. And to see, and like that's what disc golf has been for a long time too, is like you just got to have a community of people who really cares about showing up and getting something done. And that's what's happening in Draper. And it's going to be a really interesting course. It's going to be totally different than anything we have, in the sense that like it has been very well thought out from a disc golfer perspective. Like Draper has taken every opinion that they've given them and like really run with it, and have been intentional and thoughtful about how that course is going in. And pads are being poured this coming week.
Like right now.
Yeah, this coming week. I think May 1st is like, or May 15th, something like that is like the hard deadline, but it sounds like, you know, by next weekend or the following weekend, but I think next weekend that it'll be kind of ready for play. And I don't know when the grand official opening is going to be, but it's pretty exciting. And the course is going to be techie and longer, and there's going to be a lot of OB that's involved, and I think folks are going to have some opinions about it right away. But as the course beats in, like just give it a couple of years, it's going to be really awesome. A great tournament course, I think, too.
Yeah. I had the chance to Saturday, went down and killed thistles for 5 hours. So fun.
Also doing that again, Death to Thistles
2.
Part 2.
Yeah.
This coming Saturday.
Yes.
Return of the Thistle.
Return of the Thistle.
To help finish cleaning up the course.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
get out there and help out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was out there. It was awesome. Bunch of new faces I'd never seen before. Some familiar faces. And after cleaning all the thistle out from the holes that really needed it, Scott's like, hey, they poured concrete, 2 days ago. Let's go set up baskets. Actually, like, built baskets and set up baskets. And we played, I think it was 1 through 8 and then 16, 17, 18.
Nice.
The OB is tight on some holes, but it's gonna feel like a real disc golf course, not a park course. I think there was I think it was 7 and 8. No, it was like 5 and 6 or 6 and 7. The one right next to the creek and the trail. I think that's really the only place you're gonna have to worry about throwing into people that are just walking through the park.
Yeah, and as disc golfers, like the community, I feel like is really aware of that and knows to wait, because every course we have is like pretty much multi-use outside of the fort, and even that has walkers going through it sometimes.
That has they were doing like gun shooting there when we were
there's
up
all
there.
sorts of stuff going on.
People fishing in the pond.
Yeah.
There's always like some people that are in the area.
Yeah. Yeah, it's exciting. And like this last Saturday or Sunday, last Saturday was like kind of a huge day for Utah disc golf, like sort of under the radar. Like it was huge cleanup going on at the new Draper course, which is yet to be officially named. How many people showed up? 25 people showed up.
I think, yeah.
Dragonfly had an organized cleanup that 50 people showed up to.
Yeah.
There was an event going on at the North Fort that day that was filled. There was an event going on at Roots that was
Tree planting.
Yeah, Love Dubs, and 27 trees were planted at Roots and by Tree Utah and by the city in coordination with disc golfers. You know, like they sat down and like asked the disc golf community, you know, where should we plant these? That's going to be most beneficial not only to, you know, you guys in terms of creating a really cool, fun course, but also like how can we protect different fairways and like separate these things with trees. So like thoughtful work was being done.
Yeah.
Hole one's gonna be sick now with all those trees they planted kind of along the walking path on the left side and then also on the right to form almost like it feels like it's gonna be a tunnel shot now.
Yeah.
Coming out of hole one.
Yeah, it is going to be pretty sweet to see the improvements that are going on there. Like it's going to be a 5-10 year thing, you know, because the trees got to grow up and get bigger, but they will, and it's been rad to see all these things happening in Utah disc golf, and you know, there's definitely a community push that's been going on. So
Awesome.
I think that was pretty much it for this week. Let me double check.
cool.
I was gonna say we got some construction.
Construction
it sounds
happening.
like.
Yeah,
Kind of
maybe
all
we
start
start wrapping up. Let's do
Should we do
your thing. Go pick a random disc. Anyway,
Yeah.
A random disc.
random disc. Anyway,
pick something that you really want, like just a fun
Really?
random disc. So for me, my disc of the week this week is the new Latitude 64 Strive. I picked one of these up about a week ago now, and it's found a spot in my bag right away as being the like out of the bag go to straight to a little bit of flip on it, but not too flippy here at elevation, and a reliable fade at the end. It's definitely going to be a staple in the bag. Probably replacing a couple of my drivers at this point. But next is finding the stable driver to really, you know, hold those hyzer lines. I almost aced hole, what is that, 10, 11, 12 at Roots today with this, doing the big hyzer line.
really,
It just pushed and landed 3 feet in front of the basket. Like
12's the one with the like.
the tight tunnel where the tree
the
manned
fence?
out with the fence.
Yep. Okay. Yeah.
But I did the big hyzer line and just like pushed it out like 375 on hyzer. Thing just held straight the whole time and came in like 3 feet short of the basket.
Damn.
Like, definitely feels real good in the hand too. Like,
It also doesn't feel quite like a 13. It feels
no,
like a 12 and a half ish.
yeah, it doesn't have like a really big rim on it to me that like a lot of drivers do. So I think it's good for like people that are getting into like the faster speed discs. That, you know, you look at like wanting to buy a destroyer, and it's like, cool, you should really be getting like something like this instead.
Yeah, especially in Utah.
Yeah.
All right, what you got there, Ben?
So what am I supposed to do here?
Just show the people. Show the people. Talk
Yeah.
about it.
Oh yes. This is a new release from Axiom. It is it's the pitch, and I had a love-hate relationship with the glitch, in the sense that I really liked having a
This
disc
glitch?
that was the one that's sitting in that basket right there. The fact that there was a disc that was like, I loved how effortless the glide was. You know, I'm only 31 years old, but I'm every inch of 31 years old, and my arms are falling apart. And it was nice to have a disc that you could just like throw that would just go, you know, and the glitch definitely did that. But the problem I had with the glitch is how unreliable it was. And it was so lightweight that like if you put even the slightest bit of torque on it the wrong way, it would just go the wrong way. And so enter the pitch, which is Axiom's kind of version of the glitch. It's a catch disc, is how they market it, but it's totally a disc golf disc. It can handle torque. It's a little heavier. The glitches were maxing out like in the 150s, and the pitch gets up to 160, and so it just feels a little more substantial in the hand, and it's got a rounder rim to it, so it's more comfy than the glitch, which kind of had this like concave feel to it, or convex, I don't know, but kind of like went in like this. There was a little flat on the side, and this feels really good in the hand, and it can hyzer flip, so like it feels like a disc golf disc and flies more like a disc golf disc, even though it's still a technically a slow speed catch disc. Like it's just point and shoot and feels great, and they're full glow. I'm real curious as to what they're going to do with these in the future with this run. If they're going to make them in different plastics and how long it's going to take those to come out. MVP's kind of notorious for releasing a disc and then waiting like 7 years, it feels like, to release it again. But yeah, it's like, I think, a better version of the glitch. It's like all of the things that the glitch isn't for me.
How does it compare to the watt for you?
Well, the watt is like max weight, right? Like watts are up there 170. The watt is useful. I prefer the watt just has less glide than this does. I just like that you can throw this without trying to like absolutely pump it and like rip your arm out of your socket, and it's still gonna go where you want it to go. It's just, but it's still torque resistant. It can still handle spin. You can still shot shape with it. It's got a little bit of stability to it. It's just kind of perfect.
It might just be me.
I'm surprised they didn't go with an overmold on an Axiom.
They did.
Oh, is there an overmold on
It's
that?
just total eclipse. So there is technically a thin seam. It's really hard to see them on these.
Yeah,
but if
I
you
didn't
look,
even notice that.
Yeah, it's just glow on glow, so it does kind of blend in. But on a lot of these discs, when they glow, it's two-tone glow. So you'll be able to tell that it'll be like a blue glow on the plate, or a purple glow, or a green glow with a different colored glow on the rim.
Yeah.
And so it isn't overmold still. It's just very tough to tell because it looks the same.
I feel like the pitch is almost like thicker.
Yeah,
than the glitch.
it is. It's
Like,
just more substantial.
in the rim here. Yeah, I like that.
Do you feel like that'll hold up in like not windy days, but like if you have like a 5 to 7 mile an hour headwind or something like that? Like throwing the glitch just seems like it's gonna like go somewhere that you're not trying to throw it with, because the wind just kind of picks it up and takes it.
If I'm being honest, probably not. But that, in that case, this just isn't the disc for that shot, right? Like you're just gonna, it's like throwing, 400-foot hole with or without wind, right? You're just gonna switch discs, and so just the nature of the fact that any one speed is gonna have such a substantial distance between like the bottom of the flight plate and where the actual disc ends, where the bottom of the disc ends, it's just gonna catch wind and carry wind so much more easily than a disc that doesn't. And because this is neutral and it's supposed to be neutral, it's just going to get pushed around by the wind more. And so tailwind, for sure, great. But headwind, probably not so much. Useful for some shots in a headwind, like little touchy approach shots, but I'd probably go to something more like a Tactic or an Envy, something thinner.
Yeah.
In the wind. Yeah.
Sweet.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
What's your disc of the week?
I did mine last week, and I get mine next week. So.
Oh, all right. Every other.
What was it last week? It was
it was your Wraiths.
Wraiths last week.
Nice.
I think I know what next week will be. I'm just not going to tell the people yet.
Yeah.
I feel like whenever we find something new to it, just like
I know what next week is going to be, probably for you.
Oh
You're a
boy.
Wraith guy.
I'm a Wraith guy. I love Wraiths. I actually did put.
Did you get the what I think you got in? Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And it's pink too. You know I buy pink.
So next week, this is going to be Ian's disc of the week. This is the Proto Drive from Discraft. It's an 11.5 neg 1.2, and I have not thrown it yet. I'm probably going to go throw it right after this and see how she flies. But the idea, this is kind of like the spot in Discraft's bag or Discraft's, what's the word here? Lineup, thank you. That is missing. Kind of like a flippy, just like stable to understable 11 speed. And
It's gonna be stable.
I'm real jazzed about it. We're going to see how she flies. I'm hoping that it mimics, it seems like it's going to fly real similar to like the Grace, which has been hugely popular. Wraiths and Destroyers and like almost everything Innova does has kind of gone in the trend of just getting more stable.
Yep.
And more stable and more stable, which is an answer to, like higher arm speeds and people just like getting better at disc golf. But especially here in Utah, like we need understable discs, and understable discs fly better here because they are effectively stable. And so I'm stoked for that disc to come out. So that's Ian's disc of the week next week.
I'm curious as to how
it will be a pink disc. I will give them that, but it might not be this pink disc.
I'm curious as to how it will feel compared to like a Passion.
Well,
Because I know so many people aren't like big fans of the Passion. Like
and
either
I think
you
it's
like it or
'cause
you
the
don't.
rim on the Passion. This feels great. Like
Yeah.
this feels like, you know,
Mhm.
standard stock 11 speed.
Okay, yeah.
We'll see what happens, but like it feels good in the hand. You know, like the Passion has that real weird, like almost bead to it as an 8 speed, which is like kind of funky. So it's got a weird feel to it.
Now you make me think. It kind of reminds me of like my Onyx, but like
To the right. Oh yeah, that does. Okay, that's what you're saying.
yeah, like a little bit bigger of a rim on it, but it still has that like nice hand feel to it. Just a little bit less stable.
Yeah, we'll see how she goes.
Yeah.
So
I'm
that, and these are dropping too this week. This is the first run Kratos in Paul's special blend.
I actually was looking at these, and I wanted to see if they have a bead or not, because
Micro bead.
micro bead.
It's got a bead. Yeah.
I might try these for something.
Those
I'll
seem
tell you
stable.
later.
They are. Yeah, so the crystal ones they did were quite stable. It's like a really good Luna, essentially. It's like a Luna with more. Essentially what they did is they took this is the Luna mold and they cut off the bottom and added a bead. And that's the Kratos. So it's like just a Luna with more consistent stability. And then we got these coming this week too. This is this year's version of the Dickerson Robot Chicken Buzzes, which have been like hugely popular collector discs.
This is
Yeah,
fucking
Such a
hilarious.
sick
These
stamp.
swirls.
Look at
We
that.
got 50 of those. So
Yeah, those look sick.
yeah, big Discraft week. So
Yeah. When can you sell these?
26th,
26.
4 days.
3 days from when this goes up.
3 days
Yeah.
Cool.
from when this goes up.
Sick.
So
I'm excited.
yeah, me too. All right,
Dude,
Cool.
wrapping her up.
I think
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Thanks,
Anything?
boys.
Anything else?
all good.
We gotta do this again, but we'll actually
Should,
like.
we, should we get Juno on the?
Yeah,
Oh,
Juno.
yeah.
Juno.
I'll pick her up.
I'll pick her up.
Oh, come here, sweetie.
Got the store mascot.
Indeed, the shop dog. The reason it's all here. Let's go, girl.
Disco girl.
All right, say bye, June. Say bye to the people. See ya.